Gru is having a problem. He needs someone to set up a board game for him, but he doesn't want to ask one of the other minions because they're all really incompetent. So he figures he'll ask the internet, but even that didn't work out so well. And now he is standing in his living room with 300 identical boxes of Monopoly in front of him, and it's not what you think. See, when Gru put the question out there, he got a lot of responses, too many actually. So he decided to hold an interview. Dave, one of the few minions Gru trusts, was assigned to help with the setup. But this poor guy just kept getting distracted by the shiny objects around him. While Dave was busy rolling around in some random crap, Gru began interviewing the candidates. The first guy he called was Kevin, who actually seemed pretty competent. He was wearing a collared shirt, had a briefcase, and knew how to shake hands. But when Gru asked him about his experience setting up board games, it turned out Kevin wasn't actually qualified at all. He just wanted to play Monopoly and he wanted to be Gru's friend. So Gru let him go. The next guy was a bit of a slob. He was wearing a stained shirt, reeked of garbage, and looked like he hadn't bathed in months. But he did have experience setting up board games. In fact, he was practically a professional. Gru hired him on the spot. As the new minion adjusted the boxes on the table, Gru went over the rules one more time. This was very important. He wanted everything to be perfect. But the minion kept interrupting him with stupid questions. Could he keep the change? Was it cool if he used the property cards as a napkin? How much money did Gru have in his bank account? By the end of it, Gru was fed up. He fired the minion and told him to get out. Dave, who had gotten himself stuck in a corner, watched the whole thing with amusement. Gru noticed him and asked, "Can you set up the Monopoly box?" Dave responded with a nod, and suddenly all the boxes began to levitate. Gru and the other minions watched in amazement as Dave single-handedly assembled the board game. He arranged the stacks of bills, placed the tokens in the center, laid out the property cards, and set up the houses and hotels neatly on the side. It was actually quite impressive, but then something strange happened. As Dave reached for the dice, his eyes flashed red and he began to cackle maniacally. He knocked over the board game, sending the pieces flying through the air. "Too slow," he said with a sinister grin. "Let's play a faster game." Before anyone could react, Dave had pulled out a large knife and lunged for Gru's throat. It turns out Dave had been possessed by a demon named Balthazar, who had answered Gru's plea for help. You see, Balthazar was the master of board games and setting them up was his specialty. He could do it faster than anyone else and his prices were reasonable too. But he had one condition. He required the host to sacrifice the minion they valued the most. Gru never should have agreed to those terms, but he didn't know that until it was too late. Now, as Balthazar prepared to claim another soul, the other minions panicked. They didn't want their friend Dave to be taken away like this. So they did the only thing they could think of. They started throwing pies at the demon. It wasn't much, but it was all they had. To their surprise, it worked. Balthazar screamed in agony as the sweet treats stuck to his horns. He tried to shake them off, but it made things worse. The more he struggled, the more pies stuck to him. Eventually, the demon was completely immobilized, and the minions, with the help of Gru, shoved him into a nearby portal, trapping him forever. With their friend back, the minions all celebrated, but not for long. Just as they were about to resume their normal lazy activities, they heard a knock at the door. There stood a tall, handsome demon with a charming smile and a bouquet of flowers. "Hi, I'm here to set up your board game," he said. "I saw your ad on the internet." Gru facepalmed. They were in trouble again.